The recent COVID-19 surge is impacting long-term care facilities across the state. Officials at a New Hope nursing home say they are struggling with staffing shortages because many employees are out sick. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
It's impacted our operations significantly the last 2 weeks with a pretty large spike of internal positives.
Officials at Northridge Health and Rehab in New Hope say at one point they had 48 residents and 24 staff members who tested positive for COVID-19.
It's been very hectic for cases for us. Like I said, really over the last 3 weeks has been the surge.
In December, about 30 Minnesota National Guard members worked at the long-term care facility for 2 weeks to help deal with severe staffing shortages, but the nursing home is still struggling.
Every 2 weeks, we have approximately 700 certified nursing assistant shifts that are open.
People are picking up extra shifts to cover the open spots, and Northridge Health is filling some of the openings with temporary workers. However, they could use some help.
It's gotten a little better after the holidays, but we don't see much reprieve here.
In New Hope, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Vinyl appears to be moving the needle when it comes to music sales. In late December, more than 2 million vinyl albums were sold in a single week, the most since at least 1991. CCX reporter Jason Malillo shows us what's driving the vinyl resurgence.
Down in the Valley's 50-year anniversary is coinciding with an ongoing vinyl revival.
It's hip now to listen to vinyl.
Cassette tapes supplanted vinyl in the early 1980s, and then CDs took over the market, followed by digital music options. But records are proving to be resilient.
It's actually that physical piece, right? We went so long in the digital world in music where iPods, MP3s, things like that. But, there was nothing to hold, and there's no artwork to look at.
New vinyl is now in high demand at Down in the Valley. It's a trend the music and novelty store started seeing around 15 years ago and really picked up around 2015.
As we come to today, 2022, it's at a peak level, and you see turntables and records and commercials, and everywhere you look now there's turntables and things like that.
Used vinyl LPs are also in high demand.
My phone rings all day with people saying, "Do you have this record?"
Sean Smith owns Twin City Smitty's Vintage Audio in New Hope, where he sells old records and other used media, as well as vintage audio equipment that he refurbishes. He's seen an uptick in sales lately.
Guys will come in, buy $100 worth of records, and then come back a month later and buy $100 more. People are building collections again. So I would say it's the nostalgia. People are coming in looking for records that they owned as kids.
But this renewed interest in vinyl isn't exclusive to the going gray people.
We're seeing the demographic shift quite a bit in the last 2 years.
During the Christmas holiday here, I set up 5 stereos for what I would call teenagers or college-age kids.
A lot more young people are coming into the market, buying vinyl, getting into it. Their parents are helping them buy that first turntable.
And with mega stars like Adele dropping new LPs, this vinyl renaissance might keep spinning. Jason Malillo, CCX News.
Most restaurants are situated on main roads, but in this week's edition of Takeout Tuesday, we check out a restaurant in Crystal that's right next to a residential neighborhood, offering up breakfast and lunch with a little Mexican flavor. It's said that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and if that is indeed the case, you might as well eat something that tastes good.
So this is ready. 2 ranchero skillets.
A ranchero skillet is just one of the delicious items served up at the Family Café, which opened 6 months ago in a small strip mall just off of Bass Lake Road in Crystal.
I open the 8 to 3. I do everything, lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
Pedro Torres runs the Family Café. The Mexican native has spent 3 decades working in the kitchen of different restaurants. And when this space became available last year, he decided it was time to step into the world of restaurant ownership.
Well, I got the opportunity in here, and right now I try.
Family Café sells many of the traditional items that people would normally associate with breakfast.
All right, so this is a biscuit and gravy.
But one of the best-selling items on the menu are the pupusas. It's a flatbread that's stuffed with beans, cheese, and pork, kneaded by hand, and then thrown on the grill.
So here's the menudo. This is the Mexican food.
Soup is also a popular item here.
It's cold, so it's good for warm.
Menudo is made with tripe and cooked in a red chili pepper base with a number of different seasonings. So whether you're more of an omelet person or someone who's looking for a little more spice in your diet, the Family Cafe has a little something for everyone.
A lot of people like my food, and I'm happy for that.
1 year ago, local COVID-19 vaccinations began, including at the Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute in Golden Valley, where thousands of people received the vaccine. Now, 1 year later, a piece of artwork is paying tribute to that effort. This art piece, titled A Work of Heart, symbolizes all the work that went into the Courage Kenny Vaccine Hub that went on for about 6 months. Every splash of color represents a person who contributed to the effort, including volunteer nurses, pharmacists, and security staff. The nurse who came up with the idea believes it symbolizes hope.
When there's a big lift like this that needs to be done, that our healthcare community and the members of our community come together and make it happen. And we're still out there working hard as a group to find a new normal.
The art piece is on display outside the Courage Kenny gym.
Five of the top 6 teams in the state Class 4A girls basketball rankings play in the Lake Conference. Number 5, Wayzata, played another top team in their league opener. Jason Malillo has more.
Girls basketball, Wayzata visiting St. Michael Albertville in a matchup of top 10 teams. Bryn sending catch-and-shoot three-pointer in the first half for the Trojans. Next time down the floor, Wayzata freshman Sophie Hawkinson drops a triple. Trojans lead 17-11. Shannon Fornshell crossover dribble drive for the basket and foul. She nets a dozen for Wayzata. Final seconds of the half, Tessa Johnson to Jakala Kraft for the STMA hoop. It's a 2-point lead for Wayzata at the break. Sendon swishes the jump shot early in the second half. 2 more of her 13 points. Trojans up 6. Relentless defense here by the Knights as they fight for the ball. Freshman Abby Hasselton eventually corrals the loose ball and zips the pass to Emma Miller for the hoop, cutting the Wayzata lead to 2. Johnson stops and pops and hits, putting STMA on top 45-43. Then 5'2" Miller zips to the goal and scores with the left hand. Miller is money down the stretch for the Knights. She threads the pass to Johnson for the hoop. Johnson has a game-high 25 points, and St. Michael Albertville hands Wayzata its second loss of the season, 55-52 the final. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata boys basketball team is playing well. Here's Jay Wilcox with more.
After winning the state Class 4A title last season, the Wayzata boys basketball team is off to a solid start this winter. The Trojans entered Tuesday's showdown with Hopkins with a 9-3 record.
We're starting to blend a lot better as a team and making a good shot for the better shot, and we're really starting to dig in on defense.
Yeah, I like where we're headed right now. We've gotten a lot better, especially in the last couple of weeks. It's been fun to see these guys connect. Had a fun bus trip to Moorhead, which I think helped us a lot. A big win over Lakeville North on the road last week really helped our guys come together.
The Trojans are ranked 3rd in the state, and their 2 losses to Minnesota teams were to the teams rated number 1 and 2 in 4A, Park Center and Shakopee. Wayzata opened Lake Conference play with a win over St. Michael Albertville Friday. Now they enter a stretch of mostly conference play, with good opponents and rivalry games like Hopkins, Minnetonka, and more.
Yeah, it's always fun to get into our normal schedule playing Lake Conference games. It's always fun playing teams been playing for a long time, especially senior year now. We're really familiar with the teams we're playing, so it's exciting. I'm super excited for it.
They know as defending champs they'll get every opponent's best effort. Wayzata's guys wouldn't have it any other way. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
In prep wrestling, local squads Armstrong and Park Center went head-to-head, and Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
It's Park Center hosting Armstrong in Northwest Suburban Conference Wrestling. At 106 pounds, Park Center's Peyton Snyder throws on the half Nelson and pins Armstrong's Ben Stark to start the night. At 113, Amelia Hermanson of Armstrong doesn't quite get the pin here on Eden Kang, but she gets near fall points on the way to a 13-6 win. It's part of a string of 3 straight wins as the Falcons go up 15-6. Park Center gets a win from a female wrestler, too. At 132, Ro Adedenton shoots low on the single leg and eventually gets the takedown on Henry Cronin on her way to a 7-2 win for the Pirates. Armstrong gets 3 pins in a row in the middleweights. Amari easily adjusts his grip and gets the pin in the 160-pound match as the Falcons build a 33-15 lead, but that's the last match they win. At 170, Mark Haba of PC counters the shot by Fred Dasson and takes Dasson to his back on the way to a fall. The Pirates storm back with 5 straight wins to end the match. At heavyweight, Riley Johnson puts the finishing touch on the comeback by pinning Joey Cronin. Park Center rallies to beat Armstrong 43-33. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.